Hello, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Financial Freedom Fridays. It's Gus Tucker. It's what is it, February 10th? We're our second weekend to February. And how's it going for you all? I've heard from many of you on email and gotten some text messages. And looks like 2023 is not without its challenges and its opportunities. Okay. So, but it's all about how we are prepared to take advantage of what's coming at us, right? Wisdom is the ability to apply what you know in real time, in real relationships, to make a difference for yourself and those around you. How many of you guys would agree with that? Okay. What's up, Don? Checking in from New York City. How you doing, Don? Hello, Colleen from Hayden, Alabama. All right. Good to have y'all on the show today. So we are going to be getting ourselves ready for a couple of things. In March, we've got an opportunity for an event that I'm actually speaking at. Hello, May from Louisiana. That I'm actually speaking at, and it's a great way to kind of set your course for your life in terms of understanding your purpose. And in April, we're going to be doing, for the month of April, a financial workshop. I'm actually excited about it. Myself and the producer of this show, Ellis Dean, we're going to be talking about it afterwards and putting that together. So we're excited about what's coming up for the next couple of months. So let's get to it. Why are we doing this? It's to support you, Black Americans and African Americans, and having some practical tools to get financial independence and sustain it for multiple generations. Does this mean that we don't care about any other kind of folk? No, of course not. Of course not. But it just so happens that I happen to be a Black American, and my experience is that there just aren't a whole lot of people running to our aid to make things happen. And I'm thankful for everyone that is. I really am. But we need to take some things and make some things happen ourselves. Would you guys agree? All right. So what's financial independence? We mention this term a lot, but I would ask you, is it becoming a reality for you? Day by day, is it becoming a reality for you? Financial independence, in my way of understanding it, it is a mental, emotional, and spiritual thing so that you're not dependent or worried on money. But it's also a practical thing where you have in this earth, in this world, you've put together structures that will create value for you and your family apart from your personal interaction. That means you've got to set up teams and systems to do that. So what we're going to be talking about over the next couple of months is making sure you've got a vision and a plan to put those teams and systems in place. And I thank you for that agreement coming out of Alabama. Yes, ma'am. So as a whole, we need a strategy to change our economic position and political power in America and have a sustainable Black economy. I encourage you, if you haven't heard me say this, I encourage you to listen to Martin Luther King's speech from April of 1967 at Stanford University called The Other America. And if you listen to it, that speech was 55 years ago. But if you listen to it, it could have been done. It could have been done yesterday, with the issues he's talking about. Yeah, the other America, and it talks about the two Americas that are out there. It's called the other America. So I encourage you to check out Claude Anderson, Dr. Claude Anderson. We've kind of put his book down for right now, but one of the statements he made in the book I was reading, and I'll show you the copy of it because for Black History Month, it's a great read. It said in 1860, we controlled less than 1% of the wealth in the US, and 160 years later, it's the same. 160 years. 160 years. I was talking to a group yesterday, and then there was a track coach and a couple of people who had ran for him in the past. And we talked about the idea of relay races. Have you guys ever watched a track relay race? You know, like the 4x100, the 4x800, or 4x400, where there's at least four runners and they have to pass the baton from one runner to the other. You can have the fastest team, but if you drop the baton or have a poor pass between runners, you're toast. You're toast in the race. You're not going to win. Guess what? Between generations, we've got to pass the baton to the next generation and not drop it or fumble it so they can get off to a good start on their race. Does that make sense? So part of what we're talking about here, working together as a group, as we pass that baton on successfully. I've got 3 children. I don't know how many you guys have, but they're in their 30s and they're up and off on their own and they're making things happen. And I just want to continue to empower them for as long as I can. Okay? And be proud to be a Black person in America. Okay? The fact that you're still here, and like I said, Antoine Fisher, you're still standing and you're making things happen. Man, that's a blessing. You're a powerful person. You're a powerful person. If you're in America and you're a Black person, you're still standing, you're more or less in your right mind, and you're continuing to be productive, you are a magnificent, powerful person. Okay? And yeah, you ought to be giving yourself big ups, and let's keep working together and keep moving this thing down the road. Okay? Now, we've gone through these tips a little bit. We're going to go through them some more. I'm going to just push on from that. 2 things I really, please, if I can make you do these 2 things, I would. But I can't make y'all do anything. I've been married to my wife, be 38 years in August. I can't make her do nothing. She loves me. I love her. And we've trained each other. And we say we ain't training nobody else. So, but we can't make each other do nothing. We try to influence one another, but we can't. So I want to influence you to come to this training that I'm a part of. It's called Leading Lights, March 10th through the 12th. It's on the evening, that Friday evening, March 10th, all day Saturday, and on Sunday in the afternoon after church at about 3 o'clock to about 6 or 7 that night. Now, if you're in Chicago, on Saturday, we're going to meet in person, but the whole thing is virtual. It's going to be broadcast on Zoom, okay? But if you're in Chicago, you can come by our place. And on Saturday, we're going to be hanging out. And we have a blast. That QR code gives you the registration. You get the $99 price. Just scan the QR code and register. Why would you want to do this training? It answers the big questions everybody has. The 2 most important days in your life are the day you were born, and the second day is the day you find out why. The day you were born and the day you find out why, you understand your purpose, then your life and everything that's going on begins to make sense. Okay? Each one of you that are listening to my voice, that are watching this, I believe was created by God to do something specific. And the fact that you were created by God and the fact that he wants you to do something specific means it's something special and important and vital to everybody else on the planet. That we all have to carry our weight. That's why it's such a tragedy when someone's either life is not invested in the right thing or their life is snuffed out. Because that person has the breath of life in them from God. And that breath of life was to empower them to do something specific on the earth to benefit people. And because they're gone, that benefit's going to be lost. And I believe God, in his sovereignty and his control, is able to use other people to make it happen. But it isn't the ideal. So that's the first thing. And that's going to get you on the track of your purpose. Okay. Then the second thing is we're going to do a workshop through April. Each one of the times we get together in April, it's going to be a workshop. And you're actually going to do things. You're actually going to do things during April to put your financial house in order. If you will follow through on the instruction you're given and the roadmap you're given, your financial future should take a market change. Okay? There will be a cost for it. We haven't figured out exactly what it's going to be yet, but I would encourage you to do that. So in March, Leading Lights training, you get your purpose. I'm not saying for the first time in your life, but you get it refined, and then in April we work on an actual plan, a workshop. We're at a do shop. So here are the kinds of questions that need to be asked and answered around financial literacy. What are your dreams and goals for the remainder of your life? There's a singer called, his name is Jonathan McReynolds. Anybody heard of him? Somebody give me a shout out if you heard of Jonathan McReynolds. He's got a song called Moving On with Molly Music. And it says, my rear view, can't compare to what God has for my life. Okay? Can't drive your car or your life looking at your rear view mirror, can you? Well, you could, but you're going to run into something and you're going to miss where you're going. Okay? So we're going to talk about dreams and goals, and we're going to get that down on paper. And then we're going to set some standards, some minimum standards you're going to live by. These are things that I must do in order to have my goals to happen. And I'm not going to violate those standards. You don't want to be in relationships that make you violate your standards, and you don't want to have a lifestyle that violates your standards. Amen? Okay. So what are your dreams and goals? Okay. Your veritable bucket list, your dream list. Thank you for that. Your bucket list, your dream list, your adventure list, your what makes life worth living list. Okay. What are those must-haves? Is it written down? Okay. We want you to have it written down. And then we're going to, in this workshop, put together plans to make them happen. See, your plans are prayer requests to God. And you're willing to take action on your plan is your demonstration of faith that he's going to make it happen. Come on now. It's a little sneak preview of the kind of things we're going to be talking about in the workshop. Okay. Number two, how do you create relevant value in the marketplace? Has anybody heard, or is it just me, that companies are laying people off? What does that mean when somebody gets laid off? The company says, right now, I no longer value what you bring to the table for our company. And the company's going to be better off by not having you provide that value to us and have us pay you for it. So how do you continue to create relevant value? Relevant, something someone's willing to pay for right now, both as an individual and if you own a business, as a business owner. How do you improve that amount of value that you receive and the rate of return on your efforts? How do you improve that? How do you improve that? What's your strategy? Okay. Now let's say you're in the marketplace, you're creating value. What's the first thing you should do with your money? You know what it is? Give. How much should I give to others of the value I create? Why should you give? That's one of the principles we're going to talk about in the course. You should come. Now, why am I saying you ought to give first? Give up your first fruits. Why? What? Next, what saving and investing plan do I need to reach my financial goals? And what's the difference between saving versus investing and the kind of financial vehicles I use for one? Do I use the same financial vehicles for saving as I do for investing? I always hear people say, Gus, what if I need to take money out? And I look at them, I said, wait a minute, we're supposed to be investing that. So what does that mean? Investing versus saving. What tools should I use to manage my financial affairs? You guys ever watch this show? I love this guy. And I was watching it last night because it intrigued me. It's called Restaurant Impossible. And this guy, Robert Irvine, he comes in, he's kind of a gruff dude, but he's an expert at what he does. And he comes in a couple days, turns these restaurants around. Why? How can he do that? Because he knows the standards and the number of key areas that you need to put in place to manage the business. Standards about operations and costs, managing employees that manage the food prep and serving, then managing the costs, and then managing the restaurant itself. So the environment, ambiance is what it's supposed to be. He's got a system for that he can go into place and boom, put that down and change the situation. What's your financial system? What tools do you have in place to manage your financial affairs? What role should a financial professional play in those affairs? And then how do I go about selecting one? What tools should I use? What people should I be aligned with? Makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. Big companies have whole purchasing departments to figure out what software they ought to use, what tools they ought to use for the company to manage their systems. Well, you got a company too. What system you gonna use? Okay. Next thing we're talking about is debt. I know nobody on here is in debt. I know. This is like an irrelevant thing. It's got nothing to do with you. But for people you know, invite them to come because we're going to talk about how to get out of debt. Mortgage debt, credit card debt, student loan, those other loans, whatever they are, those other loans, and then how do you improve your credit score? Okay. Why is insurance important? What types of insurance should I be considering? Does it matter by stage of life what insurances I should be using? And how do I evaluate them? You ever had any of those questions? Have you? You know, insurance has been around since the 1300s. The 1300s. And what percentage of Americans do you think have zero insurance? Zero. I want to see somebody give me some feedback. I'm going to wait. I can get some feedback on this. I'm talking about life insurance right here. Life insurance specifically. We're going to cover all kinds, but this is about life insurance. What do you think? What percentage of people have zero. What do you guys think? Well, and life insurance has been around since the 1300s. So it's not like it's a new thing and people never heard of it. Okay. Any guesses? Can I get a couple guesses of what percentage of people have zero life insurance in America today? I'll give you a countdown from 10. I'm watching the clock here. So when 10 seconds have gone by, I'll tell you. Okay. 10 seconds seems like an eternity. Okay, 10 more seconds. Give me 10 more seconds so we can get some feedback in. What percentage of people do you think have zero insurance? Zero. Okay, here's the number. It's over 50%. That's 170 million Americans. So they're going to have a GoFundMe page. Okay? Not good. Not good. Okay? Does it matter by stage of life what kind of insurances I should be using and how you evaluate them? So how do you even determine what you have and then choose between the companies and stuff? You know, it can be confusing. No, what is retirement? Um, how should I be defining retirement for me and my family? And how do I prepare for getting older, changing your daily routines? How do you prepare for that? Huh? Anybody had a class on getting old? Oh man. So another thing that's important, how do I accumulate money to pass on to the next generation? How do I not drop the baton for the next generation? And how do I legally structure my estate so that my wishes are upheld? That what I want to see happen to my life savings and everything I've done, that it actually happens. What documents are needed to do this? Attorneys, powers of attorney, wills, trust. What kind of trust? There's all kinds. Are there different types of each of these legal documents? How do I know what to choose? Choices again. Choices again. So what we're going to do is in March, we're going to help you focus on your life purpose. And in April, we're going to get your financial house in order and more order than it already is and get you, bam, launched off into the rest of 2023. Does that make sense? Does that sound like a worthwhile thing to do? I think so. Some of the topics, now you can email me or text me about the topics you'd like to see. I just share with you some of the questions we're going to answer. And these are some of the topics, but email, text us. I've got some emails this week. I appreciate it. Was able to communicate with some folks. But we're going to talk about how's value created, money made. How do I create value? How do I make money? How do I continue to create income, expand the number of income streams, earn massive passive income? Look, you guys tell me. You tell me, okay, what I'm about to say. Our dreams, generally speaking, you can characterize them by this. A dream life is having control of my time and having control of my money. So I have enough of both to do what I want, what's on my list. How many for people would that be a dream life if you could do that? Control your time and control your money. Well, we're going to show you how to do that. Yes. Okay. Develop your cash flow plan. We're going to put together some foundational milestones for you, things you have to do. Like you have to have money saved for unplanned events. You got to get out of debt. You got to have protection plans for the future because the future is uncertain, right? And then all of you guys have some goals like this for you or your kids. Marriages, weddings, homes purchased, kids going to college, business startups, all this stuff happens. Wouldn't it be nice to have planned ahead for you and other siblings in your family such that your family is not left behind and you guys can do the kinds of things you want to live the kind of life and have the kind of impact you want? Wouldn't that be cool? That's what we're talking about. What are your goals? Tax-free retirement plan. We want you to have a tax-free retirement where you're not paying tax on your income. That can happen. That can happen. Okay, switching gears a little bit. It's Black History Month. There are a lot of people that need to be celebrated. And I really suggest you get that book, A Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask. I really encourage you to get that. Okay? I really do. On Black labor, white wealth, learn how our economy at its beginnings, much of it, not all of it, but much of it was financed by money made from slavery. That's where the money came from. So I encourage you to get these books and read them, okay? And bolster up your history knowledge, okay? Here's the book. That's what it looks like. Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask. Okay? So read that book. Okay, read that book. Let's get our financial house in order. Attend the Leading Lights to develop your personal initiative. And by the end of April, man, we're on it and we're not negotiating and we are making our plan happen. Nonstop to the top of wherever it is you believe you ought to be going. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, we're going to wind down. And I just want to tell you guys, have a great weekend. It's a couple things going on this weekend. Valentine's Day, or people celebrating it. I encourage you to do that with the people that you care about. I know we're going to be doing that tomorrow afternoon for a few hours. And we're excited about that. Sunday is the Super Bowl, which historically, it's never happened that two African American or Black American quarterbacks going to be starting for each team. That's going to be pretty remarkable. Okay, so have a great weekend. Enjoy Valentine's Day. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Be safe out there, and let's talk again next Friday. And you guys have a great weekend. And make sure you go to my website, howmoneyworks.com. Howmoneyworks.com, and then / is my name, Gus Tucker, and take the financial literacy quiz. Take the quiz. If you come to the workshop and you decide to register for the workshop, that's going to be a requirement. So take the quiz. Let me know where you're at. Okay? I love you guys, and thanks for tuning in. Share and subscribe. Subscribe to the page. Share it to other people. Let's keep growing the audience of people who are committed to putting themselves on the map financially and us putting ourselves on the map financially as a group. Okay, guys, you take care now. Okay, bye-bye.